Dear students, welcome to the lesson 2.3, The Worm. Let us start with the warming up. Worms' role in maintaining ecological balance. Earthworms are known as ecosystem engineers. They decompose the organic material like leaves and grass and increase the nutrient availability to the plants. They make burrows in the soil through which oxygen and water can enter. Earthworms, the best friends of farmers. Earthworms open up small spaces in the soil, burrows, and alter the physical structure of the soil, which improves productivity. Worms increase the amount of soil nutrients. Vermicompost is one of the most effective manure for the soil. How can creatures be useful? Dragonfly is an effective destroyer of insects like spider, mosquitoes, etc., thus controls unwanted insects. Spider eats pests like cockroach, flies and mosquitoes, keeps insects population under control. Ants clean up dead organisms, turn the soil by digging tunnels, this aerate the soil. Honeybee, bee wax is useful for treating wounds. Cross-pollination by bees helps in growth of plants. Honey is an effective medicine. Earthworms increase productivity of soil and it is used for vermicomposting. Role of creatures in nature can also be our teachers. Let's see what we can learn from them. Honeybee teaches us hard work, consistency, teamwork. We can learn discipline, hard work, perseverance, teamwork, foresight from the ants. We can learn patience, perseverance, and self-belief from spiders. Caterpillar. The life of caterpillar is the best example of adaptability, and we also learn beauty comes after hardship. The next question, vermiculture or vermicomposting. Breeding worms to use them to convert organic waste into fertilizer is called vermiculture or vermicomposting. It is a process of using worms to decompose vegetable or food waste and turning the waste into compost. This compost supply nutrient to plants. There are different ways of preparing vermicompost. How can you carry out vermiculture in your house is up to you. Think about it. Now come to the poem The Worm by Thomas Gisborne. A word about the poet. Thomas Gisborne lived between 1758 to 1846. He was an English poet and priest. He was the member of a Clapham sect who fought for the abolition of the slave trade in England. Let's see the poem. Turn, turn thy hasty foot aside, nor crush that helpless worm. The frame thy scornful looks deride required a god to form, the common lord of all that move, from whom thy being flowed, a portion of his boundless love on that poor worm bestowed. The sun, the moon, the stars he made, to all his creatures free, and spreads over earth the grassy blade for worms as well as thee. Let them enjoy their little day, their lowly bliss received, who do not lightly take away the life thou canst not give. The poem The Worm talks about valuing life in its smallest form. See the first stanza. Turn thy hasty foot aside, nor crush that helpless worm. The frame thy scornful looks deride, required a god to form. The poem begins with a direct address by the poet, who tells the reader to step carefully and not to harm or crush the helpless worm. He urges us to respect these tiny worms by not crushing them with our uncontrolled steps. He adds that although we look at the worm with contempt or hatred, it was created by God with lots of love. See the difficult word meanings. Meanings are given by the side of the poem, but still you see hasty means hurried and careless, scornful, filled with hate, deride, expresses hatred. Second stanza, the common Lord of all that move, from whom thy being flowed, a portion of his boundless love on that poor worm bestowed. In the second stanza, the poet says that the worms are created by the same God who created us. God has bestowed or gifted his infinite or unlimited love even on the crawling worm. All that move means all the living being. Thy being flowed means your life or existence originated. Boundless means unlimited. Bestowed means given or gifted. Third stanza. The sun, the moon, the stars he made, to all his creatures free, and spreads over earth the grassy blade for worms as well as thee. The great creator who made this universe generously gifted the sun, the moon, and the stars to all his creatures to enjoy freely without any restraint. He spread the grass over the earth for the comfort of all, even to the smallest creatures, that is the worm. Blade means stretch of land. The last answer, let them enjoy their little day, their lowly bliss received. O do not lightly take away the life thou canst not give. In the last stanza, the poet makes an appeal, a request to the reader to let or to allow the tiny beings, the small creatures, enjoy their short, simple life, and we are not supposed to snatch away the joy of simple living from them, not to kill them. The last two lines are very, very important, where the poet conveys the message that is, we do not have any right to take away their lives because we are incapable of giving it back. Let us see some of the figure of speech. Note down in the textbook now and later write it down in the notebook with explanation. The first line, turn thy hasty foot aside. Here it is repetition because the word turn is repeated for poetic effect. There is also archaism. Archaism means Old English word thy is used instead of your. See the next line. Nor crush that helpless worm. The figure of speech in this line is exclamation because a strong feeling is expressed. Come to the third line. The frame thy scornful looks deride. Here again archaism is there because thy again the Old English word is used. See children, in one line there may be more than one figure of speech sometimes. So here archaism is there, Old English word thy is used, and one more tautology, Tautology. tautology. Here the words scornful and deride, they mean the same meaning, that is hatred. So when two words mean gives the same meaning, it is called tautology. So that is also there. And one more figure of speech you can write, that is alliteration. Alliteration, you all know, sound of a particular letter is repeated. Here the sound of letter th is repeated for poetic effect. Then come to this line, the sun, the moon, the stars he made. Here inversion, you must have studied last year. Inversion means the words are not arranged in proper poetic order, and the correct order is he made the sun, the moon, the stars. Then come to the next line, third stanza, last line, for worms as well as thee. Here also alliteration, because sound of letter W is repeated. Okay, that's all. The remaining figures of speech I will send it along with the other question answers in the PDF. And one important thing about critical appreciation of the poem, which will be sent in the PDF, but certain instructions, critical appreciation is given in 4 paragraphs. The first paragraph, the poem and name of the poet. Second paragraph, rhyme scheme. And third paragraph, the figures of speech. And fourth paragraph, the central idea or theme of the poem. You have to strictly follow the format of the critical appreciation. 4 paragraphs, once again. First paragraph, poem and poet. Second, rhyme scheme. Third, figures of speech. And fourth, theme or the central idea of the poem. And you have to underline the main points in the paragraphs. That will be sent in the PDF. Okay, thank you.